What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Jeremy Wormy, and this is more of the time when I prefer to do these these numbers videos. I prefer to do them the second week, primarily because it can give you whether this movie's gonna flop or succeed. Now, I think when it comes to Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, I think it's gonna flop. But what is a Disney flop and an MCU flop is different than an actual box office flop. A Disney MCU flop can't has to basically not make $1 billion. If it gets close to $1 billion, it doesn't count as a flop, but it's still not a success. They wanted to make that $1 billion mark. They always wanted to cross that $1 billion. So when you go look throughout all the movies that came out in the phase 4, and I still feel like I'm missing one. I feel like I'm missing one because I have them all pulled up. Black Widow. I didn't pull up Spider-Man primarily because I consider that more of a Sony movie than a Marvel movie, so that doesn't really count on that. Yeah. But when I'm looking at these numbers, I'm looking at what was the drop off? How big did it drop off? And it dropped off massively, let's say. Because you come over here to comic book news. Comic book news. Marvel celebrates Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania being #1 in the world again, despite box office drop. And that box office drop was insane. And let's be real, it didn't do well. They're not happy with one of the things that happened this week, because we'll get into that. Because excuse me, it got beat out by Cocaine Bear on Friday. It got beat out by Cocaine Bear. It only beat one movie at the box office, and that was Jesus Revolution. This was not a success. And you also have to take into account that, hey, it's costing more to go see these movies. Ticket prices are up. AMC's charging more for primetime movies. They're charging more for primetime seating. They're charging arm and a leg just to go see these movies. So when you take that into account, viewership is down. It costs more to go. Viewers don't go as much. So just because it might have a decent opening weekend, because it's a #1 of the box office right now, doesn't mean people are going to see this movie. And we'll get into that. But Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania just won its second weekend at the box office. But the sequel also suffered a record-breaking box office drop for Marvel movies. The film had the biggest opening of the Ant-Man trilogy last weekend. That doesn't feel right. Earning $104 million with less people going to see the movie. I'm willing to place money that the same amount of people that went to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp went to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I'm willing to bet the same amount of people did that in its first 3 days at the box office. However, the movie plummeted 70% during its second weekend. Previously, Black Widow had the MCU's biggest box office drop at 67.8%, but it's worth noting that the 2021 film was also simultaneously released on Disney Plus Premier Access. Yeah. So was Shang-Chi, which also did not do it any favors. So was I don't know if Shang-Chi was dropped on Disney Plus right away. I actually need to go check that out. I don't remember if Eternals was, but Black Widow really got hammered for that, but it didn't help the movie. It didn't help the movie. It didn't really hurt the movie because the movie was crap and it just kept going downhill from there. And to start off phase 4, it kind of, when you look at Black Widow starting off phase 4 and you look at Ant-Man starting off phase 5, they're kind of similar. Not good. But it's worth despite Quantumania's huge box office drop, Marvel is still celebrating the movie being #1 in the world for the second weekend in a row. Yeah, well, how did it do? How did it do? And we'll get into all these drops real quick, but how did it do? Well, you come over to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Friday. Well, let's do Thursday first. Because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday. $3 million. Friday, $8 million. Saturday, okay, $14 million. Sunday, $9 million. That number will probably go up because of the time I'm recording this, but let's see. We'll wait and see. Cocaine Bear, Thursday, $2 million. Friday, $8 million. Saturday, $8 million. Sunday, $5 million. Not great, but Friday, $8 million, 300,000. Friday, $8 million, 700,000 domestically. These are domestic numbers right now. It got beat out. Granted, it's $400,000. It got beat out by Cocaine Bear. The only movie that has succeeded in actually beating this weekend was Jesus Revolution. Jesus Revolution, gospel-based movie, kind of very Jesus. You know those movies. Has its own messaging, things of that nature. Probably wasn't going to do good either way. Not ultimately. It might do decent at the box office. It's sitting at 15 million right now. Probably didn't cost very much to make, but this is a gospel-based movie, and it was the only movie Ant-Man managed to beat out. Ultimately, yeah, you take a look at these numbers. Yeah, Saturday was always going to be big, but this drop off, they're saying is about 70%. 70%. About an 82% drop off also. 70% is like the aggregate, average, but yeah, that ain't good because you come over here to all these guys, varying week over week. 60%, 68% drop off for Black Widow, Shang-Chi. What was that drop off? 54%. Still not good. Shang-Chi didn't ultimately do good. Look at that numbers. These aren't good numbers. Eternals, 70%, 62%. So, wait. Yeah. Eternals, disastrous. Also, shares the spot for the second MCU movie to get a rotten score on Rotten Tomatoes. Doctor Strange, 67% second weekend, drop off. Thor Love and Thunder, 68% second weekend, drop off. Wakanda Forever, 63% second weekend, drop off. This is a continuation of what happens with these Marvel movies. What's happening? Out of the gate, they come out swinging. They swing for the bat. They swing for the cages. They go all in. And then they immediately drop off. Now, let's be fair. Let's say, let's duplicate this real quick. Let's do Spider-Man No Way Home. Probably should have brought this up sooner. Let it load. I said that wrong. Spider-Man. We'll do this real quick. No Way Home. Okay, well, what? Ultimately, $1 billion movie. Succeeded. Well, what was it drop off? What was its drop off? Well, let's take a look. 67%. Still had a massive drop off, but word of mouth helped this movie greatly. This movie was a success. It stayed in the box office for a very long time. Let's be real. Scrolling down, it was in there for most of 2020. Most of 2020 and the tail end of 2021. It was in there constantly. This movie was a success. Why was this movie a success while all the others failed? Because it was good. It was actually good. It is remarkably good. This movie succeeded where the rest of Phase 4 and what it looks like Phase 5 failed. Now, Phase 5 does have technically Guardians 3, but Guardians 3 was a Phase 3 movie. So this was a movie that's been pushed back time and time again. It's going to feel drastically different. It's going to be drastically different. This movie was supposed to come out prior to Endgame, prior to Infinity War. This movie was supposed to be very influential in the whole MCU, but they pushed it back and replaced for Captain Marvel. Almost said the Marvels. Oh man, the Marvels. That's gonna be a fantastic movie. I love it. But yeah, Ant-Man ain't doing great. Ant-Man ain't doing great. Now let's be real. When you go international, China did step up finally. China did step up to come out to see the movie. I don't know why it took now, because when I did one of these movie videos back Wednesday for Thursday, wasn't showing up at all. They weren't really interested in it. But the numbers still aren't great. It still ain't pulling in many numbers, and it still ain't doing very well. You come over here to the again though. You look at Rotten Tomato score, and yeah, I've levied the idea maybe it's getting review bombed positively. I'm starting to more hinder on the idea because you know you look at the trends. The audiences that came out to go watch this movie left a review. I think these are legitimate reviewers. I think most of them are. I think also not many people actually went to go see this movie. You had a continuation of people coming out saying, oh, I'll go see it. I don't like what's happening, but I'll go see this one. I don't like what's happening, but I'll go see this one. They continue the trend, and slowly they start dropping off. They start dropping off. They start dropping off. So I'm willing to place money that this number, 83% number, for the audience is more accurate than anything else. But it's highly skewed. You know, you're sitting at 55,000 verified ratings. I'm willing to bet those are all accurate, and I'm willing to bet the audience score is actually extremely accurate. I keep saying that, but it's less people watching the movie. It's less people interacting with it. The people that are just fed up with the MCU aren't going to see this movie. The people that aren't interacting with this movie aren't going to see this movie. People that are just tired of the propaganda, tired of crap movies, aren't going to see this movie. And it kind of reflects when you get this. Quantumania writer implies there's no real plan for Phase 5 and beyond, where we are all in process of figuring that out. We had Kevin Feige guarantee us when they were doing the whole Phase 4 that Phase 4 was going to be the multiverse. So Phase 4 failed because we didn't have a plan. Well, that's introducing you to the multiverse. Phase 5, that's the multiverse saga. Don't worry, we have a plan there. They don't have a plan. Now, I heard Dane, not Dane, Dre. God, D's, give me a break. Dre on Roundtable said he actually thinks they did have a plan at one point. And then the movie came out and they flopped. It failed. So they have no plan anymore. I don't think they do have a plan. I legitimately don't think they have a plan anymore. I think they might have had a plan at one point. Now, I think it's all gone. I think any idea that they did have has been scrapped. It has been thrown out the window because Ant-Man and the Wasp was a failure. I don't see this movie cracking $1 billion. I don't see Ant-Man and the Wasp continuing on this immense trend of being #1 at the box office all the time. Because what movies are about to come out? Well, you got we talked about it yesterday on the Legion of Memers stream, or Saturday. We have John Wick coming out here soon. John Wick looks fantastic. What other movies are coming out soon? Actually, I can't think of them off the top of my head. March has some heavy hitters though. Creed 3 is coming out soon. Creed 3 might not do as well as it actually looks because Rocky Balboa ain't gonna be in it. I think it might be able to do well ultimately, but Creed 3 is coming out. Creed 3 is probably gonna decimate this movie. You got John Wick Chapter 3 coming out. Well, Chapter 4, that's gonna dominate the theaters. John Wick, fantastic movie. Love those movies. That's gonna do better than this. We have movies coming out that are gonna do better than this here soon. Actually looking forward to those. Until I think the only good MCU movie for this year is going to be Guardians 3. Marvel's I'm looking forward to for all the wrong reasons. Let's be real. I ain't looking forward to watching that movie for anything else other than to clown it. But let me get you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Do you think Ant-Man and the Wasp was actually a success? Or are you actually thinking it's going to be what all the signs point to, another Marvel flop? But hey, that's just my opinion. Let me get your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share it out with your friends. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video go live, guys. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.